Hey AwesomeDoodle fans, we are here at home base in Louisville, Kentucky, and Jordan came down from Columbus today and he brought Cash. Can you hold Cash up a little bit?
Come here, buddy.
You guys have seen Cash before. Cash has sired a bunch of our litters in 2017, and since we've been using Cash, I don't know why, but he's really let some of these Aussie colors come out. We're getting a little bit more copper in puppies and so forth. And most of all, we love his temperament. He's just such a happy-go-lucky dog. He just wants to have a good time. He's up for anything. He's not scared of anybody. He's very confident. Jordan, can you tell me a little bit more about Cash?
Yep, Cash is our Moyen-sized poodle, and he's with me in Columbus, Ohio, up there.
Okay, now for Moyen size, that means, is that like
Moyen is basically a word that means medium size.
Okay. And
when you know anything about poodles, what you hear is a standard size, which is typically around 60 pounds, and a lot taller than this, maybe 25, 26 inches tall from the back of their shoulder or the top of their back. And then you hear a lot about the miniature-sized poodles, which are even smaller than Cash. They get, typically anywhere from 10 pounds to 15, and even that small. So Cash is kind of a rare size. I guess in America you don't see a lot of the Moyen size. So when we found him, we were really excited. Yeah. Because when we're looking for AussieDoodle mixes, we wanted to find somebody the same size as our mini Aussies. And when we found Cash, we were super excited to get him as part of the family, because he matched up perfectly height-wise with our miniature Australian Shepherds, which are typically 25 to 35 pounds and 14 to 18 inches tall, based on the smaller ones and bigger ones. So when we found him, man, we were so pumped, and when we got him, we were really thrilled with his personality. He's very playful. I mean, he's very calm in the house. Yeah. He does very well. And
he gets excited around those girls, though, don't you, Cash?
He does very well, and then when he sees his girlfriends, he gets really rambunctious. But that's typical, I guess.
Yeah. Can you hold him up on your lap so the viewers can see about how big he is?
So he weighs 22 pounds. So he looks a little bigger than he weighs, but that's because his fur is really fluffy. Yeah. So the curly hair, makes him look a little bit bigger. And he has some longer legs. He stands about 18 inches tall, maybe 19 inches tall. Yeah. He just has the longer legs, but we like his weight. I think it mixes well with the girls that we have on the team.
A 19-inch Aussie would probably be 35 or 40 pounds, huh?
Right, because of how stout they are.
Yeah. So, the poodles are so tall.
Yeah, he's light. So when he gets a haircut, he looks even smaller than this. So, but we're very happy with Cash.
Yeah, when Jordan first brought Cash down the first time, I was a little bit hesitant because we used Aries before that for a lot of my litters here, and plus out in Texas and Atlanta and so forth. And after spending one weekend with Cash, I was really, really pleased, and that's why I've switched some of my own litters to using Cash, which is saying a lot because I really thought a lot about Aries. He's a really good dog.
When you look into breeding a poodle to an Australian Shepherd, you kind of want to learn a little bit about the color genetics. And Tom and I are still trying to learn and get things down. But we kind of had a trial test error with Cash, and we're very pleased with the colors he's allowing to come through on the puppies. Yeah. And they're looking like standard, they're looking like Australian Shepherds. Yeah. But they're the cross with the poodle, and they're holding all these rich colors. They're holding the copper along the cheek lines, and they're holding the white stripes up the snout, and some white in the chest. And so we're very pleased with what he's allowing to happen to the puppies. I think we got lucky.
Yeah, he's a great dog. We've had incredible feedback from his puppies, of those puppies. So Cash, you're going to be sticking around for a while, little guy.
Yeah, Cash is 2 years old. I mean, he's still young, so he's going to be with the family for a while.
So Jordan, I want to ask you about, before you came to AwesomeDoodle to be a partner of AwesomeDoodle, you only did mini Australian Shepherds.
That's right.
And how many litters of mini Australian Shepherds did you have before you came to AwesomeDoodle?
Well, I grew up with standard size Australian Shepherds.
Okay.
And we just had one Australian Shepherd, and he was a standard size. He was a red tricolor. And I had him as a boy through my early teen years, and he passed away. And we went a few years without a dog. And then we went on vacation to Colorado, and we saw somebody with an Australian Shepherd, but it was literally half the size, and we're like,
is that a puppy?
Yeah, what is that a puppy? And he said, no, this is a miniature Australian Shepherd, and that was back in 2006, 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
So we looked into it and bought our first miniature Australian Shepherd in 2007. And started breeding around 2010. And so we've been having litters ever since then.
Okay.
Started out 1 to 2 litters a year, and just started to grow from there as we started getting comfortable with, more familiar with the breed and their temperament and how to talk to people and really tell people about the breed and what they're like.
Yeah.
So we've expanded from there, and then we met Tom and joined forces a little bit and helped share knowledge with each other. And I think we've made a good team so far, helping each other out. So.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the differences in the way you're raising your AwesomeDoodles compared to the way you raised your mini Australian Shepherds.
Okay. So
come on up here, Cash. Come on up here. Come on.
Seems like he wants to sit beside you.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy unless he's sitting on my lap. So we might as well just let him sit on my lap.
There he goes. So typically how we raised our miniature Australian Shepherds, we would have the moms deliver right in our garage. You know, that's where she would stay. And we would have the standard typical kiddie pool, as people would do, you know.
Right.
That's just how we started, you know. I would look things up and talk to breeders, and that's how they did it. And we still kept them warm, and we kept a good eye on them. But when I got introduced to Tom, he raised his puppies a little different than I did typically for my miniature Australian Shepherds. So
I want to interrupt you there for a second because, you know, when you say we raise the puppies in the garage and a kiddie pool and heating pad and stuff, that's very, very typical.
Very typical.
You know, that's the traditional breeder, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong. We weren't hurting the puppies. We always took care of them very well.
Right.
And so no complaints from any customers, but I think when we joined forces with AwesomeDoodle, it's just the next step in breeder quality, I guess. And we brought the puppies inside. We have the puppy box with the railings on it, the heating pads, the nice blankets, the 24/7 camera, you know, the puppy cam. These are all things that give the customer a sense of relationship with their puppy. And you know,
people get pretty hooked on that puppy cam.
The puppy is a part of the family before he comes in the home, because they're watching this puppy be raised at such a young age that they're already connected, they're bonded with their puppy before they even see it in person. So
that's a good point. You know, a lot of people tell me how much they like watching the puppy cam, but then when they pick a puppy and now they're watching their puppy on the puppy cam, it's a whole new experience.
Right.
It's a real bonding experience.
So I was a little hesitant at first. You know, it was all new to me, but as I started going through it and meeting the customers, and I think overall it's a better experience than how I did it previously with just the mini Aussies and the way I did it. I think it's a little bit more rewarding as a breeder to see how satisfied the customers are. And that's been worth it to me to see that.
Right.
You know, the customers are extremely happy.
So now your dogs are raised and they hear the ice maker clink on the freezer. They hear the hair dryer going, the washing machine, the vacuum cleaner. How do you think that affects, you know, when a puppy goes home at 8 weeks old, how do you think that a puppy is different compared to the kiddie pool puppy in the garage?
I think when the puppies are raised that way, they could tend to be a little bit more skittish towards noises and hesitant. So they could seem a little bit more scared when they're that age. If you take a puppy home at 8 weeks that's never been inside, you know, here comes the vacuum cleaner. They're going to run to the nearest couch and hide behind it. And when they're raised at 2-3 weeks old, all the way to 8 weeks, and they're seeing your wife or whoever vacuuming or the dishwasher running, the laundry, you know, all being ran, they're used to these noises so much that it's second nature, and they're going to be calmer at a younger age. And I think that's a perk as to when the customer gets their puppy. Another reason why they choose AwesomeDoodle is because of that. So.
And they hear all these sounds ahead of time, and then it's just normal to them.
Right. A puppy that could go from a different breeder, maybe raised in a cage environment every day, they typically could be a little bit more skittish, and I think the way we do it is so much more rewarding You know, everybody's more comfortable seeing their puppy like this. They're happier. You know, they're relaxed.
People tell me that when they get their puppy home, it's literally super comfortable within an hour.
It's an easy transition because, you know, it's not like, what is this strange place?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
And I think they will too.
So in case you aren't familiar with the way AwesomeDoodle works, we have a bunch of partners around the United States. We have a partner in Texas, Denver, Atlanta, Columbus, Arkansas, and a year from now we'll probably have a few more. And what we do is, instead of a typical breeder who has, you know, 10 females and 10 litters of puppies at one time, we all raise our dogs in the home, you know, 1 or 2 litters at a time.
Right.
Jordan has more dogs than any of us, I think. I think he has 4 girls. Yeah.
We have 4 girls signed up here with AwesomeDoodle. So it's been a challenge if they come and eat at the same time.
Right.
But I'm at home 24/7, so this is my full-time thing. It's not like I'm running from work back home to make sure the puppies are okay.
Right.
So
Jordan doesn't have a day job. This
is my job here.
This is his day job. Yeah. So all of us, we raise our puppies to the same standards. So we use the same type of heating pads. We use the same lighting. We use the same puppy boxes, the welcome boxes, and so forth. And we have the same kind of protocols. So for example, when puppies are born, we weigh the puppies every day to make sure they're gaining weight every day.
Right.
So
that was a big thing for me, was weighing them every day. When I started, I didn't weigh them every day like that. And every now and then you could lose a puppy due to not keeping your eye on the weights of these younger puppies. You want to make sure they're consistently gaining weight every day. And if you don't keep your eye on one of the smaller ones, or, you know, every now and then you might have a puppy that's a little smaller than the other ones, and you want to make sure she's gaining weight daily, make sure she's doing okay. So if you notice anything, the puppy is staying the same weight, we want to get some isolated feeding time, possibly bottle feeding. But
it doesn't happen very often, but
not very often. But when it does, it's great to know that you had an eye on it because you weigh them all the time.
Right.
You know.
Right.
That's good to know they're healthy. That was new for me.
Yeah.
For AwesomeDoodle, was to be on top of it more. I feel like since we've teamed up that I know more about my puppies, the customer knows more about their puppies.
Yeah.
I just don't have them stuck in the garage. You know, let me go check on them real quick. You know, they're checked on every day.
Not only do they get to hear the sounds of the hair dryer and the vacuum cleaner, they get to hear human voices.
Yep.
And we just end up being around the puppies so much more when they're in the house.
Right.
Once our puppies are 6 weeks old, those puppies start coming out of the whelping box and they start playing in our kitchens.
Right.
And yeah, they pee on our kitchen floors, but hey, we don't care. They're AwesomeDoodles, right?
Right. Part of the job. Clean them up.
But anyway, we start to train these puppies to take treats from our hands. So tell me about how that goes for you. Like, what kind of things do you do with your puppies? Like, do you do all of them at one time? You've had some pretty big litters.
Right.
You just do a few at a time. How do you do that?
So I start using the treat called pupperoni. And we cut them in really small pieces, and I'll hold them in my hand like this. And that puppy will try to put his paw on me and really try to get to it. I try to let it have a little taste of it so it knows it wants something.
Right.
And I'll pull it away. And that it seems like these puppies are very quick to learn. And I don't even have to say the word sit. I'll just wait for them. Once they taste it, they know they want something. I'll wait there until they get on their butt.
Yep.
And then I reward them. And once you do that a few times for a few minutes, not even, I'm telling you, less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I will get them to sit down in probably 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they give up their will, I guess. So I'm letting them have a taste. I'll pull it away. I'll say no, no, no. And you know, as soon as they sit on their butt, I'll say good job, and I'll give them that treat. And it starts to click after a few times. I'm not going to get this treat until I sit down. And that's been the most successful way. I'll try to do isolated training at first, and then I'll have 3 or 4 around, and I'll go to each of them.
Yeah.
And see, because a lot of times when they're together, they'll fight over a treat or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. They both 2 of them try to go for the treat at the same time.
They all want it. So you know, I'll say, Sally, I'll try to get her attention or whatever, and I'll get her to taste it a little bit, and I'll pull away until they sit down. You know? And that has been working great for me. So I've shown it on a few of our videos in the previous litters back in the summertime, and that was with Faith's litter. And I'm telling you, they caught on pretty quickly.
You know what's funny is when I first started doing this, I would do those little training sessions when they were 7.5 weeks old, like right before they went home. And then on my next litter, I started doing it at 7 weeks.
Right.
And I think, wow, they can do this at 7 weeks. And now we start like 5.5, 6 weeks, and it's just amazing at 6 weeks old how quickly they learn.
Right. It is awesome. And I know the customers like it as well. And I didn't think they could learn, because I did not do that with just my miniature Australian Shepherds. I let the customer do the training.
Right.
And with AwesomeDoodle, we started to do it at a young age. And it shocked me how quickly they would learn. And we would put it on film and we'd show people. And you know, when the puppy gets to the customer, it makes them really happy that they've already been through a few sessions of they need to sit before they get the reward.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And what happens is these puppies, it's kind of programmed in their head, they're conditioned to just offer that sit to their new owners, because they know that if they jump on you, they're not...
We don't reward it, you know?
Right. One thing that we do at AwesomeDoodle is we invite people to our homes. And this is not typical with most breeders. It's kind of rare to find a breeder who will invite you into their home. The reason for that is, you know, sometimes it's valid. You know, we have certain moms that are more protective than others. I mean, you've got Sammy, who is super, super protective, and she literally cannot see
another person
with her puppies, right? You have other dogs that are, you know, totally fine with it. You know, so in those situations, it's okay.
Yeah, I've been to certain breeders, you know, they won't let you in their barn or in their house. You know, they'll say, we're just going to stay out here. Or, no, we don't let anybody back there. We'll bring the puppy to you. I understand to an extent, but it is also awesome to engage with the customer, and they can see where the puppies are playing. They can be in the breeder's home, face to face. They can talk with you and see how things are going. I had a lady come in. She didn't even purchase a puppy with AwesomeDoodle. She just wanted to come check it out. And she laid on my kitchen floor for over an hour, and we played with all the puppies. And I took the time out of my day to meet with this lady, and she eventually, I mean, I wasn't trying to sell her. We were hoping she would get a puppy one day. I wasn't trying to say, we're the best. I just welcomed her in. I said, this is how we do things, you know? Come hang out with our dogs, and any questions, let me know. And she ended up signing up with us.
I like to say, you know, our life is kind of an open book. You know, we let people into our homes. We want to show people where puppies are raised. Now, we do this on our weekly videos. You know, everybody gets to see where the puppies are raised in the weekly videos. And I've actually had a couple customers who, they don't believe it. They want to come and they see for themselves. And then they come here and then they're like, wow, you really don't have a kennel. You know, they expect to see cages in my backyard, and they don't. So there are certain times when it's not a good time to come visit, when puppies are very little, or when we have a real protective mom. But in most cases, we open up our doors to potential customers or customers who have, you know, put a deposit down. We've actually had a few customers actually fly here before, you know, just to visit us before they get their puppy. So it's pretty crazy. It shows a lot of dedication on their part. You know, we love that.
I've had customers, it's surprising to see, you know, people love these puppies so much, getting attached through the camera, through the quality pictures and videos we send them. People are driving from Virginia to Ohio to see me. New Jersey. I mean, all over the place. They're coming, they're driving and spending the night in a hotel, picking up their puppy in the morning, and, you know, growing a bond with them as they drive home. And it's pretty awesome to see, you know, how committed the customer is just to get their puppy, because we don't typically ship them on the airplanes or in a cargo type thing. People like to pick them up.
From my last litter, I actually had 2 customers come here, spend the night here at my house in my guest bedroom, and fly home the next day. Now I don't let everyone do that, so this isn't a hotel. But they are, you know, every once in a while we have those kind of customers who they're really, really special to us. Yeah. And this dog, Cash, he is like Velcro.
Mm-hmm. Just wants to be around you.
He just wants to be pet all the time.
He's happy, as you can see.
Well, Jordan, it was awesome having you here. Yeah. Thanks for bringing Cash down. And it's always good to visit with you, whether I come up to Columbus or you come down here.
Right.
And thanks for watching, Awesome Doodle fans. Over and out.
Yep. What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about things that we do while we're raising puppies and how that affects the puppies.
We could talk about how we do the shots differently than other people. A lot of people go to TSC for their shots.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, you're getting a veterinarian checking your puppy out before they go to their owners, not just a breeder.
Yeah.
A vet is checking their heart murmurs. He's checking testicles. You know, he checks all that.
Vinegar doesn't prevent the dog from getting worms, it just treats it if it does.
Right.
You know, it's kind of a...
I think we got some good footage, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Did I talk too much, man? I just kept rolling.